Hello everyone, this is my first video for YouTube, so I might stumble a little bit, but I'm here to provide some content around Pokemon cards. For example, today I will show you how I proceed to spot good buys, screaming buys, what I consider are the best moments to pick some new cards. And what I will usually do is I will check from the collector's number on cardmarket, and I will try to spot the cards that I think that are at good prices. Like for example, let's see here how many we have available. Like for example, this is a good indicator, like less than 200 usually, it's what I'm aiming for. And of course this is the Gardevoir. Let's check. And yeah, so this card usually I will search in English. So now that we are here, we can look at something that I think it's really important. It's to respect the market. What do I mean by that? If you look closely, you will see that the average price for 30 days, for 1 month, it's around 44 euros. And the price trend is around 50. So what I'm aiming for, and what I will consider a good buy, is something between this range, okay? And I also know that the card is also growing in price, but the most important thing is that you don't pay too much above this threshold. So like right now with this card it might be a little bit difficult. I think it's a very sought after card, so, and you can see, as I mentioned, the available items are very low. In here you will see a number bigger than what you will see here, and that's because I think they will consider the other languages as well. So that's it. In this card, I don't think particularly that we can find the best deal ever. I do think there is some opportunity because this card will for sure grow, but it's a high price point to go in. So let's see with other examples. Right now, for example, let's check next page. So, okay, this one might be good. Starly. Once again, below 200. Let's see Starly. So, a good price on this card, it's around 540. So let's see what we can get. So we have some here that are a little bit below, but when we select, for example, this one is very cheap, you will see that the price is above this threshold. So what I do from here is that I will check more articles from the seller, and if I spot also other options, I can lower, basically I will lower the price of the card because the shipping cost will be divided by all the cards. So let's see, for example, illustration rares, and we have a Wiglet and a Toadstool. Okay, they are also from the base set, so they might be good buys. Let's check the price trend for these cards. And okay, the Wiglet is kind of cheap because it was about what, 350, and usually this card goes above 540. Okay, 540, no, 450, yeah. And this one was also cheap, I guess, 3. Okay, this card can go up to 4 euros. Yeah, it seems a good buy. So what I would do here, I would add this up, and okay, yeah, it seems that they are all good buys. Yeah, and that's what I would do to have a big pool of cards at cheaper prices, and they can eventually go up. And this is only for the base set. You can do this for every set, so it depends on your strategy. And for example, let's say with other cards, there are some cards that this is way more obvious. For example, this one. This one is a very sought after card. I'm stumbling on my words, but yeah. So let's check this one. So what you'll see here is that a good price for this card would be around what, 13 euros, okay? But we can't find a card that cheap. So what I can see here as well is that the card will be jumping in price, and that's because there are very low available and they are all above 15 euros. So I would say that paying up to this price in this situation could be a good buy. So the less that you can pay for it, the better. So this card will for sure jump in price. And why is this happening as well? Why we are seeing across the board, especially for the first 4 sets, you will see the available items very, very reduced. And that's because Scarlet and Violet, Paradox Rift, Paldea Evolved, and so on are climbing in prices. So before you had a quite big pool of cards, they were a little bit cheaper because the sets were also cheaper. Right now, what is happening is that the booster boxes and the singles are correlated with each other. So when the boxes jump in price, the singles will do the same, or vice versa. If the singles jump in price, the box will do the same. So right now, the only way for these cards to be lower in price, is if you open more boxes. But if they are more expensive, people tend to open less. And because there will be less boxes of these first sets available, because people are storing them, because there is no more available at retail, or there is available at retail, but not as many as it used to be, because they were cheaper, so people could buy a lot more of them. So instead of buying, for example, 1 Surging Sparks box, you could buy, for example, 2 Scarlet and Violet base. And yeah, you can open one and just store the other. And the hit rates for these first sets were way bigger. So that was one of the things that led to the cards to be a little bit cheaper. But yeah, what can we say about that? Right now, I don't see these cards lowering in price. So I would say that even if you bought, for example, this one, would be how many? How much? Okay, so it would be closer to 20 euros. And I do think it's a fair price for this card, and I do think that this card will be way more expensive, because people are not opening these sets, and even if they are keeping their cards and they are not selling them. So the available pool will be shorter and shorter and shorter, and the cards will just get more expensive. The only way for this to be solved and for the cards to lower in price is if Pokemon prints more. But these first sets are basically out of printing. It doesn't mean that they won't do it, but right now they are focused more on the recent sets, and the demand is huge, and also the demand for prismatic and for surging sparks and for the next set journey together is what is driving the prices of the rest of the sets up, because people will want to go in, they will want to buy these new sets. They are way more expensive. They will go for the cheaper sets that also have some good cards, and that will drive the prices up. So how can you spot, going a little bit back, because I was going in a tangent, just explaining the context. How can you spot the good deals? I think this one is a good deal. I surely think that paying this much for this card right now, it's a good deal. And if you can lower the price of the shipping by having more cards, you will pay more because you are getting more cards, but you can like distribute the shipping cost for every card, and that will lower a little bit of the price. This is a strategy that I use to get the most cards possible. Of course, sometimes I make mistakes, or I really want one card, so I don't mind paying a little bit more. You can also choose if you want a tracked letter, and you'll get more. You'll get the more cards to dilute this price. But yeah, this is the strategy that I use for this particular set. So I do think that this option that we saw in the beginning is a great way to buy cards from this seller, for example. And let's see if this seller has more cards, so always near mint. Let's see if they have special illustration rares. No. Okay. This one, I do think it's a very good buy. I'm opting out from this one right now because I have some cards that I'm investing in right now, and I'm waiting for them, so I'm not interested in getting those. But for example, this one is a very interesting one. So as you can see, the price is going up. A fair price for this card would be a little bit more than 8 euros, I guess. You have to respect the market, so this means that people are willing to pay between these two values, okay? And what you will see is that there are a low population, very low population, very similar to Ryulu, and I think this card is simply amazing. I have one PSA 10 in Japanese, and I also have this rock card, and it's simply amazing. It's a very I would say famous Pokemon. Maybe Cerulege is a little bit more in the mainstream. It has more that kind of dark side, but just think about this. If this card was in the same set as Cerulege, I do think that you would be paying around $30 for $30, no, 30 euros for this card. So there is some potential in this card as well. But as you can see, the price here is not, there is so little available, but the price is not jumping too much. So what I might think about this is that not many people are paying attention to this card right now, and I do consider this one to be a really, really great buy. So I don't even mind paying above this or this. Also, another piece of advice. Doesn't matter what you think that the price of the card should be. You have to understand that the market, the scarcity of something, will decide it for itself. And this one, there is another example here, but this one is an example that I lived through. So it's the best example to explain this. So here you can see Slowpoke, Gen 1 Pokemon, very sought after Pokemon, very famous one. And you can see here that there is only 145, so once again, below 200 available. And the price trend, it's 14 euros, and here it's around 13, so what would be a fair price? It would be around, I would say, 14. But they are available from 20 euros up, and this is a good condition card, not a near mint. So if you want a near mint one, you would have to pay around 28 euros. And applying the strategy that I'm mentioning here, I was able to get this card for 12 euros, like 2 weeks ago. Why? Because I spent time searching. One thing that is very important is to have a budget and to understand what you are willing to pay for a card, and to accept the opportunities and pull the trigger when you have the opportunity in front of you. I did this with Slowpoke, I did this with Mismagius, that is also jumping in price, I did this with Gloom from Obsidian Flames. So you can do this with many cards, and you can just jump to the opportunity to save some money. So for example, and once again I'm repeating myself, but I would say that the most important thing before buying cards, and especially these ones I think are the greatest opportunities right now, is to once again check the ones that are available. Okay, if they are below 200 or closer to 200, they might be good buys. Respect the threshold that you see here. This is the most viable one because it's for over 30 days, for over a month. You can see what the price of the card is, and you can see the tendency. Will it go up? Will it go down? Then, if you have a budget, if you have seen the opportunities, just pull the trigger and you will save so much money. And don't focus on what everyone is focusing right now. Everyone is spending their money on evolutions, on prismatic, on surging sparks and everything like that, and they are wasting this big opportunity. It's not only to make money. If you want to, you can invest in this and do and make money, but to have a big collection for the lowest prices possible, you can and you should do this. Well, I think I will finish this first video by just recommending that other buyer, that seller, where was it? I can't find it, but it was this guy over here. Yeah, so let's do the same that I did before. Language English, most expensive, and yeah. So Starly and Wiglet. So if you have a small budget, this is perfect. 3 amazing cards. They are cheap. The price is divided. If you can find sellers with this shipping, or even a little bit more expensive but with more articles to buy, just pull the trigger. And for SV base, this is a good buy. You can do the same that I do. When I check more articles from the seller, I will see if they have other sets, for example, and if they have and I'm interested in those cards, they are cheap, they are available, I will just buy them. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this first video. I'm a little bit unexperienced in doing this, but I hope you found interesting information. I hope you can complete your collection and expand your knowledge about this market. So yeah, see you next video. Bye bye.